Good leader asks great question. Hey everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into something that's at the core of every great leader's toolkit, asking the right questions. You see, leadership isn't just about giving orders or making decisions. It's about understanding, guiding, and inspiring your team to achieve their best. And one of the most effective ways to do that is by asking powerful, thought-provoking questions. So, whether you're leading a small team or an entire organization, these questions are essential tools that can help you drive success and foster a thriving, dynamic environment. Let's get started. Alright, let's jump right into it with our first question. What is the biggest challenge you're facing right now? Now, this might seem like a simple, straightforward question, but let me tell you, it's a game changer. Asking this question is like opening a door. It gives your team members the opportunity to share their struggles, concerns, and obstacles that might not be immediately visible on the surface. Imagine this. You're sitting down with a team member, and instead of diving straight into tasks and deadlines, you take a moment to ask them about their challenges. This approach isn't just about problem solving. It's about creating an environment of trust and openness. When you ask someone to share their challenges, you're telling them that you care about their well-being, not just their output. Let's be honest, every workplace has its challenges. Whether it's a tight deadline, a difficult client, or even a personal issue that's affecting performance, these are the things that can really impact your team's morale and productivity. By asking this question, you're giving your team members permission to be honest and vulnerable with you, and that's where true leadership begins. When your team knows that you're invested in understanding and helping them overcome their challenges, it transforms the dynamic. They're no longer just employees working under a manager, they're valued members of a team led by someone who genuinely cares. And from this place of trust, real solutions can emerge. This question also helps you, as a leader, to get ahead of potential issues before they escalate. Maybe there's a process that's causing unnecessary stress, or perhaps a team member is feeling overwhelmed by their workload. By uncovering these challenges early, you can take action to support your team and remove any obstacles in their path. And remember, the key here is to really listen to what your team is saying. Sometimes, the most critical information comes from the things that aren't said outright, that are hinted at in these conversations. Moving on to our second question. What resources do you need to achieve your goals? Now, I absolutely love this question because it takes leadership from being reactive to proactive. It's easy to assume that once goals are set, the team has everything they need to reach them. But as we all know, that's not always the case. Think about it. How many times have you or someone on your team hit a roadblock simply because you didn't have the right tools, enough time, or the necessary support? This question shifts the conversation from merely setting expectations to actively enabling success. It's about making sure your team is equipped with everything they need to not just meet, but exceed their goals. When you ask this question, you're showing your team that you're not just focused on the end result, but you're also invested in the journey. You're saying, I'm here to help you succeed, and I'm willing to provide whatever you need to make that happen. This kind of support is crucial for maintaining motivation and engagement within your team. And let's talk about the kinds of resources we're dealing with here. Resources aren't just about budget allocations or physical tools. They can be anything from additional training, access to new technology, or even more time to complete a project. Sometimes, the most valuable resource you can offer is your own time, whether it's to provide guidance, help troubleshoot an issue, or simply to be a sounding board for ideas. This question also opens up a dialogue that can lead to some really innovative solutions. Maybe your team is facing a challenge that could be overcome with a new tool or a different approach. By asking what they need, you're encouraging them to think creatively and come up with solutions that they might not have considered if they were just trying to make do with what they had. And here's the thing, when your team sees that you're willing to invest in their success, it builds a stronger sense of loyalty and commitment. They know that you have their back, and that's incredibly empowering. It fosters a culture of support and collaboration, where everyone is working together towards common goals, rather than feeling like they're on their own. Now, the third question I want to share with you is one that really gets to the heart of supportive leadership. How can I better support you? This question is incredibly powerful because it shows that you're not just a leader who gives orders, you're a leader who cares about the success and well-being of your team. When you ask someone how you can support them, you're doing something that's both humble and empowering. You're acknowledging that you don't have all the answers and that you're willing to listen and adapt to meet their needs. This is a hallmark of servant leadership, putting the needs of your team before your own and being there to help them succeed. Let me give you a scenario. Imagine you're leading a project and you notice that a team member seems a bit off. Maybe they're quieter than usual, or perhaps they're missing deadlines. Instead of jumping to conclusions or reprimanding them, you take a moment to ask, how can I better support you? This simple question can open the door to understanding what they're going through and how you can help. Sometimes, the support they need might be something you hadn't even considered. Maybe they're struggling with a personal issue, or they're feeling burnt out and need a break. Or perhaps they need more guidance on a particular task. By asking this question, you're not only showing that you care, but you're also giving them the opportunity to be honest about what they need. And here's the kicker: when you take the time to listen and then act on their feedback, you're building a foundation of trust that's invaluable in any team. Your team members will know that they can come to you with their concerns, and that you'll take their needs seriously. This kind of trust leads to higher morale, better communication, and ultimately, a more cohesive and productive team. It's also worth noting that this question can help you grow as a leader. By asking how you can better support your team, you're opening yourself up to feedback that can help you improve. Maybe there's a blind spot you didn't know you had, or perhaps there's a way you could be more effective in your role. Being open to this kind of feedback is a sign of a great leader, someone who is always looking to improve and grow alongside their team. Let's shift gears a bit with our fourth question. What's the long-term vision for this project? Now, this question is all about perspective. It's easy to get bogged down in the day-to-day details, but as a leader, it's crucial to keep the bigger picture in mind and ensure that your team is aligned with it. When you ask about the long-term vision, you're reminding everyone that what you're working on isn't just about the immediate tasks, it's part of a larger goal. This question is essential for maintaining alignment and ensuring that everyone understands how their work contributes to the overall success of the project and the organization. Here's why this matters. When your team is clear on the long-term vision, it gives them a sense of purpose. They understand that their work is part of something bigger, and that can be incredibly motivating. It also helps them make better decisions because they're able to see how their actions today will impact the future. And it's not just about keeping your team motivated, it's also about ensuring that everyone is pulling in the same direction. When you're clear on the long-term vision, it helps prevent misalignment and wasted effort. If everyone understands where the project is headed and what the ultimate goals are, they're more likely to work together cohesively, rather than going off on tangents or pursuing conflicting objectives. Now, this doesn't mean that the long-term vision is set in stone. In fact, part of asking this question is being open to revisiting and refining the vision as you progress. The world is constantly changing, and so are the needs of your organization and your team. By regularly checking in on the long-term vision, you ensure that it remains relevant and that your team stays on track. And this brings me to another important point: when you involve your team in discussions about the long-term vision, you're not just dictating what it should be, you're inviting them to contribute their ideas and perspectives. This can lead to a richer, more well-rounded vision that everyone feels a part of and is committed to achieving. This question also helps to reinforce the idea that leadership isn't just about managing the present, it's about guiding your team into the future. It's about thinking strategically and making sure that the actions you're taking today are laying the groundwork for long-term success. The fifth question on our list is one that really gets to the core of continuous improvement. What's not working? This is a powerful question because it directly addresses the areas that need attention. It's about being honest with ourselves and our teams about what's not going as planned so that we can take corrective action. Now, I know this can be a tough question to ask. No one likes to focus on the negatives, especially when we're all working hard to make things work. But as a leader, it's crucial to create an environment where it's safe to talk about what's not working. This isn't about pointing fingers or assigning blame, it's about identifying issues so that you can solve them together. When you ask your team what's not working, you're signaling that it's okay to admit when something isn't going well. You're showing that you value transparency and that you're committed to finding solutions. This can lead to much more productive conversations because your team knows they can speak freely without fear of repercussions. And let's be real, no project ever goes perfectly according to plan. There are always bumps in the road, and sometimes those bumps can turn into significant obstacles if they're not addressed. By regularly asking what's not working, you can catch these issues early and prevent them from derailing the project. This question also encourages a culture of continuous improvement. When your team knows that you're always looking to refine and enhance your processes, they're more likely to adopt the same mindset. They'll start to see challenges as opportunities to innovate and improve, rather than as insurmountable problems. And don't forget, this question applies not just to the project itself, but to your leadership as well. Be open to hearing feedback about your own performance and how you can improve. This level of openness and humility will only strengthen your team's respect for you as a leader. Now, let's explore a question that's all about tapping into the collective wisdom of your team. What are we missing? This is a question that really opens the floor for creative thinking and critical analysis. It encourages your team to look at the project from different angles and consider perspectives that might not have been initially obvious. When you ask, what are we missing? You're essentially asking your team to play the role of devil's advocate in the best possible way. You're inviting them to challenge assumptions, identify potential blind spots, and think about the project in a more holistic way. This is especially important to complex projects, where it's easy to get tunnel vision and overlook certain aspects. This question is also a great way to ensure that you're considering all possible outcomes and contingencies. Maybe there's a risk that hasn't been fully addressed, or an opportunity that hasn't been fully explored. By encouraging your team to think about what might be missing, you're broadening your strategic vision and making sure that nothing falls through the cracks. And this isn't just about avoiding mistakes, although that's certainly a part of it. It's also about making sure that you're seizing every possible opportunity to succeed. Sometimes, the most valuable insights come from the gaps, those things that weren't immediately obvious but, once identified, can lead to breakthroughs. When your team knows that you're open to hearing about what might be missing, it empowers them to think more critically and creatively. It fosters a culture where everyone feels responsible for the success of the project, not just in executing their tasks, but in thinking strategically about the overall direction. This question also helps to build a culture of thoroughness and excellence. When your team knows that you're committed to considering every angle and exploring every possibility, they're more likely to adopt the same mindset. It's about creating an environment where excellence is the standard, and everyone is committed to achieving it. Let's move on to our next question, which is all about learning and growth. What have you learned recently that we can apply? This is a fantastic question because it encourages a culture of continuous learning and knowledge sharing within your team. In today's fast-paced world, things are constantly changing. New technologies emerge, industries evolve, and best practices shift. By asking your team what they've learned recently, you're tapping into a wealth of knowledge and experiences that can be incredibly valuable for your current projects. This question isn't just about acquiring new knowledge. It's about applying that knowledge in a way that benefits the entire team. Maybe someone attended a workshop, read an insightful book, or had a unique experience that taught them something new. By bringing that learning into the fold, you're keeping your team dynamic and forward-thinking. And here's the thing, when you make learning a priority, it has a ripple effect. Your team members will start to seek out new opportunities for growth because they know that their learning is valued and will be put to good use. This creates a culture of innovation and adaptability, where everyone is constantly looking for ways to improve and stay ahead of the curve. This question also helps to foster a sense of shared ownership and collaboration. When your team members share what they've learned, they're not just contributing to their own growth, they're contributing to the growth of the entire team. This creates a rich environment where knowledge is constantly being exchanged and applied in meaningful ways. And let's not forget the impact this has on motivation. When your team sees that their learning is not only recognized but actively sought out and applied, it gives them a sense of purpose and pride in their work. They know that they're making a valuable contribution, not just to their own development, but to the success of the entire team. The next question we're going to discuss is one that's at the heart of continuous improvement. How can we improve what we're doing? This question is key to fostering a culture where excellence is not just a goal, but a way of life. Improvement isn't just about fixing what's broken, it's about constantly looking for ways to elevate your work, even when things are going well. By asking how you can improve, you're encouraging your team to think critically about their processes, their performance, and their outcomes. It's about pushing the boundaries and striving for excellence in everything you do. When you ask this question, you're challenging your team to step back and evaluate their work with a critical eye. It's about identifying areas where there's room for growth and innovation, and then taking action to make those improvements. This mindset of continuous improvement is what separates good teams from great ones. And let's talk about the impact this has on your team's mindset. When improvement is a regular part of the conversation, it becomes ingrained in the culture. Your team will start to see challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities to innovate and improve. They'll be more likely to take initiative and come up with creative solutions, knowing that their ideas are valued and that there's always room for growth. This question also helps to keep your team adaptable and resilient. In a rapidly changing world, the ability to continuously improve is crucial for staying competitive and achieving long-term success. By fostering a culture of improvement, you're preparing your team to navigate change with confidence and agility. And here's the best part: when you make improvement a priority, the results are often exponential. Small, incremental improvements can add up to significant gains over time, leading to higher performance, better outcomes, and a stronger, more cohesive team. Finally, let's discuss the last question on our list, one that's all about recognizing and celebrating success. What's going well? This is an important question because it encourages your team to acknowledge their accomplishments and build on their strengths. In the hustle and bustle of project work, it's easy to get caught up in what needs to be fixed or improved. But it's just as important to take the time to recognize what's going well. This not only boosts morale, but also reinforces the positive behaviors and strategies that have led to success. When you ask your team what's going well, you're creating a moment to celebrate your collective achievements. You're highlighting the progress that's been made, the challenges that have been overcome, and the successes that have been achieved. This helps to build a sense of pride and accomplishment within the team. And let's not underestimate the power of positive reinforcement. When you acknowledge what's going well, you're encouraging your team to continue doing those things. You're reinforcing the behaviors and practices that lead to success, which can have a powerful impact on your team's overall performance. This question also helps to create a balanced perspective. While it's important to focus on areas for improvement, it's equally important to recognize and celebrate success. This balanced approach ensures that your team stays motivated and engaged, with a clear understanding of both where they excel and where they can grow. Finally, asking what's going well fosters a culture of positivity and gratitude. When your team knows that their hard work is recognized and appreciated, it creates a positive feedback loop that enhances overall job satisfaction and team cohesion. So, there you have it, the essential questions every leader should ask their team. By incorporating these questions into your regular conversations with your team, you'll be fostering a culture of transparency, continuous improvement, and shared success. These questions aren't just tools, they're the foundation of effective leadership. They help to guide your team, keep everyone aligned, and ensure that you're all moving in the same direction toward your goals. As you go forward, remember that leadership is not just about making decisions, it's about asking the right questions. It's about listening, learning, and growing together as a team. So, start asking these questions, and watch your team thrive. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more insights on leadership and team management. Until next time.